The time that he left, I had just given birth to our daughter. My daughter was born in a very bad situation. She actually ended up having cerebral palsy, and she's a disabled child. And during that time when she was in and out of the hospital, he actually skipped the country. One day he was just gone. He sold the business, sold the car, and just left. I had to quit my job. I was suddenly a single mother raising 2 kids without a job, without anything. I was a wreck.
Lemaan Achai, which means "for the sake of my brothers," is an award-winning organization that began in the year 2000 in Ramat Beit Shemesh, Israel. It was inspired by one small incident.
I was living in Piskat Ze'ev in North Jerusalem with my family. One day there was a big commotion outside our apartment block. I went out to see what was going on. There was the bailiff had arrived with his forces to come and repossess one of the apartments. They therefore smashed the door down and forced entry into the front room. They started to take all the furniture, the toys, the books, everything from the apartment. They had a problem that there was a 80-year-old lady, the grandmother, lying on the couch. So 2 of them picked up the grandmother and put her on the ground. They then carried the couch away. I heard that 2 weeks later the lady passed away from the trauma of what she'd been through. This crime that the family had committed consisted of bouncing a $25 check. I found this very upsetting.
That incident eventually led to a greater vision of comprehensive aid. Going through this little door into Lemaan Achai's modest office space has made all the difference in the lives of thousands of Beit Shemesh residents.
I therefore put a team of lawyers and financial counselors to make sure that in future such a family would have where to turn.
Today, Lemaan Achai has 25 programs that serve over 1,000 people a month.
There was a family, the breadwinner lost his job, the employer had gone bankrupt, their electricity was cut off and their water was cut off. They were using the park to go and fill up water bottles so they'd have drink. And it was when the kids started arguing and fighting over the last piece of bread in the house that the father decided to call Lemaan Achai.
Most people don't like asking for help, but Lemaan Achai is it's a friendly place to come and ask for help. It's not the usual welfare service.
We have counselors who work with the families, who teach them how to manage their money, how to get out of debt, how to refinance mortgages, whatever their specific problem is, in order to get back on their feet. And it's a major part of the rehabilitative services.
Lemaan Achai is a community project. It employs a handful of specialized professionals, but most of the work is done by a dedicated staff of hundreds of local volunteers. Lemaan Achai's philosophy is to strengthen communities through neighbors helping neighbors. Last year, a 32-year-old father of 2 young children was diagnosed with lung cancer and forced to stop working.
It was lung cancer that had already spread throughout his chest, to his lymph nodes, and he was given a 5% chance of survival.
They decided to do chemotherapy and radiation together. It was very hard.
His neighbors and synagogue were supportive, but not sure how to be most helpful, until Lemaan Achai stepped in with a comprehensive, long-term approach tailored to the family's needs.
The 2 most important things at the time were the supportive therapy, sitting the whole family down, getting everyone to talk about, everything that's happening and the feelings that they're having. And the second thing was the economic issue.
And the whole turmoil of having a husband with really life-threatening cancer and having to deal with the children and trying to have as normal a life as possible, I always felt that at the back of my mind, this sense of security that all my needs had been taken care of.
There are many ways in which Lemaan Achai helps people. Professional social workers make sure Lemaan Achai's clients are getting what they need: school books, food coupons, weekly food distribution, clothing, furniture, support groups, Big Brother programs, and even a free dental clinic. Lemaan Achai's streamlined, mainly volunteer organization enables hundreds of people to be helped from a modest office space with minimal overhead.
If Lemaan Achai wouldn't be able to offer this service, there would be people with pain and no one to help them. No one.
If you can prevent a disease, you know, the idea of an ounce of prevention is worth many, many pounds of cure. There are some conditions for which there may not be a cure, and prevention is the only way to go. And Lemaan Achai has been doing a great deal of work in prevention.
So on the one hand, we have the financial counselors who are working directly with them, and we've also sponsored seminars, both in English and Hebrew, in Ramat Beit Shemesh for the general community, to teach people before they get into debt, before they run into problems, how to manage their money. Lemaan Achai has 25 successful programs under one roof to help families get back on their feet, and we want to do more.
This organization begins for giving the minimal needs to the family and finishes with giving them the means, jobs. And that's a very important initiative, very important effort, which has to be supported.
I could never thank Lemaan Achai enough for that.
I met all these people that helped me. I don't want to help me again. I want to help them now.
Lemaan Achai. It's all about caring.